All right, everybody, welcome back to the Nation Network. Vince McJam with you here. Hopefully everything is working well. Like I said, I'm working off of a new system, and I'm still working out some kinks and bugs, but I think this should be good to go. It has finally come. I just want to start out by saying the number of streamers that make their money off of WWE2K products, especially wrestling in particular, that are shitting on this DLC as nobody wants it, or I don't know who these guys are. Y'all, man, you just need to get with the program. This is the best pack of the bunch so far as names go. There isn't a weak link to be had. And to not know who they are, that's a reflection on you. So the fact that you're making money off of WWE 2K and wrestling and don't know who these 5 wrestlers are, each one of them, you need to do some homework. Because there are no weak links in this. You don't have a Shaquille O'Neal in this pack. You don't have Harley Race mixed up with the NXT brand somehow. There are no weak links in this pack. Now, how 2K put them out, that might be up for debate here, and that's what we're going to be doing here on this stream. So welcome, everybody, here to the Nation Network. Andrew Roberts is in the house. Prime Time is in the house. And Hot Shit joining us as well. Welcome aboard, one and all. We're going to take a look. But we're going to do a fatal 5-way, I think, just to kick it off so we see everybody. And the difference between this channel and many of the other ones is we don't block anything. So you're going to hear the actual audio. You're going to hear the actual music that's being used, things like that, where a lot of these others show you the entrances but don't have the audio to go with it. So here we go. 5-way. And we're, of course, going to go Saturday night's main event arena. You got to. It would have been nice if they would have thrown in an old school Saturday night main event arena. That would have been really spectacular. Like if they've even done the 85 one from the Nassau Coliseum. Actually, I think the first couple in 85 were almost identical. That was one thing I thought they might even surprise us with, but no, that's not happening. Of course, you can get them on community creation without too much difficulty, but didn't think far enough ahead to do that. All right, so let's go to our downloaded. Where's everybody hiding? Oh, there's our first one. Jesse the Body. And we're going to have this all simmed out, so. Like custom downloaded. JYD. Yeah, we're going to talk about that, I'm sure. Let's see what else we got here. Mr. Wonderful. Sid Justice. Oh, yeah. And, of course, download it. Yes. Arriba! Tito Santana. Tom Watts in the house. Hope you're doing well, man.
The following contest is a fatal 5-way match. Making his way to the ring from Brooklyn Park, Minnesota, weighing in at 245 pounds, Jesse the Body Ventura.
Well, it's about time they put the greatest of all time in the video game. Jesse the Body finally right here in living color. The pleasure is all yours. I cannot say how perfect they got Jesse. I mean, he looks spot on.
From Charlotte, North Carolina, weighing in at
they're going to make me burn up a cost slot. We're going to talk about this after the match. Oh, are we going to talk about this? Apparently the keto diet is working. The Ozempic JYD. Tom Watts, thank you so much, man. Honestly, it's funny you say that because about an hour ago, got up, got in the shower, got ready for this, and I said, wow, the last couple of days, it's been a bit of a reality check and an adjustment. And today I'm just like, this is cool. I'm good with this. Well, thanks for thinking about it. Again, another home run. This looks amazing. And it looks like the hair might have been settled down a little bit. Maybe they took some feedback. It's got a little movement to it, but not like it was in their preview trailers where it was kind of fluttering all over the place. So I'm a lot happier right now about that part. That was the only thing on this model that I thought really lacked. Got to admit, I thought they'd have gone with the red robe. I feel like that was a little bit more Orndorff. Wow. That's a theme song. I don't know for who, but.
And 17 pounds. Sid Justice.
We're going to fix all this. During this stream, we're going to get all this fixed. There are a couple parts of this that I kind of like the kneeling thing right there. I don't mind that. But overall, and again, I know he Sid Justice, where he came in as a babyface at that point in time. Which again goes back to some of these content creators who are like, that's not Sid Vicious. No, it's Sid Justice. And they're only talking about the part where he turned on Hogan was the heel. He was a babyface for a number of months prior to the turn. And as most of you guys already know, this is my all-time number one wrestler right here, Tito Santana. And to finally have him in the game makes me very warm and happy. Fatal five-way. Which one of these guys is going to come away with it here at Saturday night's main event? Mean Scheme going to have to call the action by myself tonight because Jesse the Body is in the ring. My broadcast partner is part of the action here tonight. Sid blowing his nose on his opponents. He's got to be kidding me. What the heck? Forearm shot to the back. Santana going up against the biggest man in the match. Single pinfall or submission will end this match. The question is, out of these five men, I stand corrected, who will do it? Now it is Jesse the Body going up against Sid. Santana wearing some Strike Force boots. Goes up against Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. And if I'm not mistaken, that is the attire that Orndorff won at WrestleMania 2. When he went up against the magnificent Morocco. Psycho Sid, Sid Vicious, call him what you will, Sid Justice. Over the top rope, out to the floor he goes. Jesse now with Tito Santana. We know there's been some bad blood between those two. The Body calling out Tito Santana from the broadcast booth on a number of occasions. And look at Jess getting the big man up and drops him into the turnbuckle. Near 400 pounds. And now it's Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. Santana just got dropped into the corner. Orndorff going to work. Choking out Sid Vicious. Oh, everybody getting on top of Orndorff now to prevent the pinfall because, again, one pin, one submission, and the match is all over. Not only do you have to keep up with your opponent, you've got to keep up with everyone else as well. No friends in a match like this. There may be momentary assignments where they decide to work in tandem. And Santana going for the pinfall on Jesse the Body. Big clothesline by Sid. Takes the Body down. Now he turns his attention to Tito Santana as a junkyard dog. Sizing up Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. Oh, a headbutt. Look at this. JYD won't release him. Hangs on. The trifecta of headbutts. Shades of the one and only S.P. Jones. Perhaps the only other man to use the headbutt that effectively. The Body now trying to pin the JYD. Save made of all people, Paul, Mr. Wonderful Orndorff. Santana attacking the knee of Orndorff. And now a kendo stick being used on Sid Vicious. Oh, another atomic knee, courtesy of Tito Santana. And now Santana going after the JYD, attacking the leg. We know he's going to try and put that figure four leg lock on if given the opportunity. And again, no friends in this one. Santana comes in with that kendo stick. JYD is right there. In the meantime, Sid Justice going for the collar, and Jesse has to kick out. Well, the Body not looking too happy about the use of the ropes there, but he's the man who coined the phrase, win if you can, lose if you must, but always cheat. Doesn't like it when it happens to him. Oh, wow, tremendous move right there by Psycho Sid, just dropping Jesse on the back of his head and neck. That could have done some serious damage. JYD attempted to use a steel chair against the monster, and it came up short. Meantime, Jesse the Body tied up with a JYD. Sends him to the ropes. Back out front. Back body. Drop down he goes. Ventura thinks he's got the win. Meantime, here on the floor, Santana using that kendo stick on Sid Justice. And now Santana going to go for the figure four leg lock on Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. Will he submit? Orndorff's a bloody mess. And of all people, the JYD breaking this one up. Normally, JYD, Tito Santana would be friends, and they are allies. However, tonight, you have no allies. Every man for himself. On a historic night here on the Nation Network. Santana with a blind forearm. Jesse Ventura's out. Peacock, JYD with a glancing version of it. Going for the cover. Orndorff will not get there in time, and Tito could not hold him down. Oh, here's a return match from the Wrestling Classic. Right here, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff and Tito Santana. There's a big slam. And a double team on Tito Santana. As I said, there would be momentary allies formed. And what you see right there exactly what happens when the moment's over. Justice off in the air. Suplex here on the floor. Ventura is going to go for the body vice. Oh, Orndorff is a hot mess right now. And JYD had to make the save. Junkyard Dog goes for the cover. Ventura able to kick out on a count of one. Gotta say, I'm a little surprised there. Nice power slam. And Santana breaks that one up before turning his attention to Sid Justice. Russian leg sweep. Nicely done by Santana. Scoop up in the air. Slam down to the mat. There's a roll up by Jesse. He's got a handful of tights on the Junkyard Dog, but he kicks out. And Sid, look at this. Cobra clutch into a slam. And now he's got Mr. Wonderful, who's in really bad shape, and a power bomb. That's all she wrote. Unless Santana makes the save, which he does. Orndorff was done. There's no way he'd have kicked out of that, in my opinion. The headbutt by the JYD. And now Sid coming in with a steel chair to the back of the body. And now to the back of the Junkyard Dog. Sid unloading on everybody in the ring. Santana has him a pile driver of a steel chair. Tito Santana. Oh, attack from behind by a bloody mess. Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. The blood streaming down the face of Paul Orndorff. German suplex drops him on the back of his head. Who is going to get it done here, ladies and gentlemen? All five of these men being pushed to the limit. JYD with a power slam. Sid Justice able to get there. Time to break that one up. Santana's down in the corner. Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, a bloody mess. And he's got his sights set on the former Intercontinental Champion. Shot to the head. And JYD now with a big right hand, and down goes Orndorff. Junkyard Dog now going through the entire roster. Santana with a knee lift. Santana, Jesse the Body Ventura. Oh, what a drop kick by Santana. A bloody Sid Justice is up and down with a pile driver. He may be a couple inches shorter than he was coming into this match. Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff now with Tito Santana. Drops him on top of that steel chair. Orndorff going for the pile driver. Oh, Santana. He's done. Orndorff going for the cover. And the save had to be made by Jesse Lombardi. Santana's in trouble. The most devastating pile driver in the world of professional wrestling. My goodness, this place has been torn apart. Looks like a looks like a Home Depot exploded. Going for the cover is Jesse the Body. Got two. He almost pinned Santana. There'd be no living with him. We would never hear the end of it if Jesse Ventura not only won the match, but got a victory over Tito Santana. Atomic knee drop by the Body. All five of these men not going to be the same, but it's over. Another belly to back suplex. Ventura has really suffered a lot of damage. But then you look at Paul Orndorff and Sid Justice, the blood streaming down the faces. Santana with a wind up and a big uppercut. Down goes the big man. And now Orndorff thought he was going to get a cover. Santana there to break it up. Flying forearm and the Body is down. Santana for the cover and a save made by Mr. Wonderful. And now Jesse the Body busted open as well. Lacerations all the way around. The medical facility is going to be stocked up at the end of the night. Sid just power bombs Jesse on top of the steel chair. JYD able to make the save. When you hear the words, fight forever, that might happen right here tonight because none of these men willing to let this one end. From behind, Santana, perfectly executed German suplex, and now he's got the Junkyard Dog. There's a scoop up in the air by Santana, brings him over and drops him on top. Santana wants him up. He's got what he wants down there. Oh, double shoulder block. He took out both men. Santana. What a move. The body now taking over. I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, all 5 of these men have brought their A game here tonight. The Red Cross needs to be on hand for the amount of blood being donated. Somebody can tell this referee keep his fat ass out of the way of the hard camera. That would be awesome. Santana going for the figure 4 leg lock. Sid is in trouble, and somehow he managed to hold on. Oh, wow, Santana caught as Jesse the Body breaking that kendo stick. Going for the cover now. Save had to be made by the JYD diving across the ring. To the ropes, back out front, chop to the midsection, and now JYD going to work on the Body. Big headbutt takes him down. JYD thinks he might have it. There's 1, there's 2, there's Paul Orndorff to make the save. Well, the thing about a 5-man match like this, there's always an odd number. There's always one person floating around. Santana now with the junkyard dog to the ropes. There's a flying forearm, and he caught him. Santana turns his attention to Orndorff. Oh, from behind, the Body caught him, and now the Body Vice is on. Tito Santana's in trouble. Jesse Ventura going to try and get a submission, and he does. Oh, my goodness. I can't believe it. We are never going to hear the end of this. Jesse the Body Ventura gets the win, but not just that. Draw submission from Tito Santana. What a match, ladies and gentlemen. I'll tell you, these 5 men put it all on the line, paid the price. And I dare say Jesse the Body was probably not the odds maker favorite in this one. I would have thought that might be either Sid or perhaps Paul Orndorff. As we take a look back at the replay. Look at that forearm shot right to the jaw. Oh, Jesse Ventura from behind went down low. I didn't catch that the first time around. Win if you can, lose if you must. Oh, this is going to be unbelievable. Well, well, well. Hot damn. Yeah, he's going to get mileage out of that, no doubt about it. All right, let's jump in and get under the hood. Superstars. In no particular order. I guess technically it'll be alphabetical order. No, I did the wrong thing. Go back. Right. Take a look here at Jesse. And we're going to fix a couple of things. I got to say, so far as that match goes, that was solid. I saw Santana's forearm. I thought that looked pretty good. Jesse's got the body vice on. Sid's got a unique version of the power bomb, different than what we're used to, so that looked nice. JYD had his headbutts, which you got to have that. Who am I missing? Well, we'll figure it out as we go. But I thought everybody's movesets looked pretty good. Let's get into... Well, first let's just take a look at Jess. The tights are exact. That's what we're used to. He's a little de-aged here. I would have thought they'd have put a little bit more ruggedness into him. He's got that trademark Jesse divot right there in his chin that he could probably hold a pencil in. That's part of Jess, man. He's got that jawline and everything. This is just really well done. Other than the fact, again, I'd like to see a little bit more going on around the eyes and stuff like that. Then again, this is probably an 80s version of him, and he was obviously younger at that point in time, so maybe that's not so far off. Let's take a look at him with the gear on. So you got the boa, you've got that half shirt going on there, which is classic Jesse. The only thing they didn't do, I don't think, and I'm looking here and I don't see it. Yeah, they didn't give him like the funky earrings. He always had these big feathery earrings and stuff, but I'm sure that'll clash with the boa and all that. If you're going to give one up to get the other, you're definitely going to keep the boa. The beret, definitely a Jesse look. I don't really recall necessarily a camouflage one, but him being former Navy SEAL, can't argue with that. So for me, I give Jesse a 10 out of 10. I think they knocked that one out of the park all the ways around. There's nothing about this that I look at and I say, I wish they'd have done this. I wish they'd have done that. It's perfect. Let's see what the personal information part looks like. No, don't want that. Statistics, that's what I want. Oh, we can't do it through here? Sorry. All right, we'll have to do that separately later. All right, so Jesse, looking good. And we got JYD, and then we'll go to Orndorff. So JYD, we're going to do some fixing here. Oh. Blaze Radio in the house. What's up, Mr. McCoy? Yeah, AWA and WWE days for sure. Yeah, no more government shutdown. Yeah, I think somebody might have gotten in their ear and said, hey, man, we're doing the DLC today. Can you guys put this shit to bed? All right. So as everyone has said, and I really had hope that they would change it, and they still might fix this because they did fix Bree's hair, or not Bree, but Nikki's hair. So the fact that if enough people bark, they're listening, I think they may go ahead and do it. I have my theory on why they didn't do it, and I'd be hard-pressed for anyone to convince me different. If they could put Jesse's bow and all this other crap in this, there's no way they couldn't have thrown some chains around there and put a collar. I honestly think 2K was worried about woke cancellation. How are you going to put chains on a black man? Guys, he's the junkyard dog. It's a character. And if you know anything about a junkyard dog, you don't want to get on the wrong side. If you're his friend, you got a best friend you'll ever have. If you cross a line that you don't belong on, you're going to be bit up, chewed up, spit out. Period. And that was the character of the junkyard dog. He would come into the ring. The symbolism was so obvious. He'd get in the ring, takes off the collar, throws it all down. Now the dog is off his leash. That's all it is. But you know what? I've been seeing all these things, these memes coming up. Is Sydney Sweeney the hottest girl in the world or whatever? She's hot beyond words. And in my book, yeah, she's the hottest thing in the world today. But not just because of how she looks. Granted, there's nothing wrong with the way she looks, in my opinion. I would score her a 10 out of 10. But the thing for me that matters more is the fact that she stands up to this woke bullshit. She was recently interviewed by some dumb bitch that was trying to get her to apologize for her Gene ad. And she's like, no, if I had an apology, I would have gave it right there, right to the lady's face. Told her straight up. Not worried about you and your cancel society. Go fuck yourselves. And 2K, I do believe that's why there's no leash. Change my mind, as a wise man once said. All right, so let's jump into our attire. What we will do here is fix that problem, which is going to cost me a fucking cost slot, which kind of... Actually, I'll go back and do it afterwards in case... I don't know how many open ones I have left. I did cut a couple of roster people loose, so I'd have some spots to do this with, but I'm not. I might only have one left right now because I put a couple of new people on the roster. So we'll come back and do that one separately. Download. JYD. Paul Orndorff. Mr. Wonderful. I'm going to add the chain. I'm going to try and add a collar. And since I've got to use a cost slot, we'll also set him up with the red trunks. Yeah, you caught that. You know what? There's no getting it past you. That's it. Joey look like on a diet. Well, again, somebody did post some video or some still photos of him back in like the Bill Watts days, stuff like that, and he did look like that. You know, he wasn't always that chunky monkey that we come to know. So, yeah, that's. But again, he still had the chains. That was always his gimmick. Always. You'd be hard pressed to find a match where he didn't come down to the ring with the collar and chains on. Yeah, primetime, dude, I was so shocked that they didn't have Grab Them Cakes. I was like, that's WWE music. They got to have the rights. All right, let's talk about Mr. Wonderful Orndorff. God dang, did they get this right. Look at this face. The hair, I was worried about the hair. I was like, oh, I hope they don't go one of those, clone hairstyles like the ones that are in the game that don't quite look right. This hair's perfectly on point. My only problem, and I think they may have addressed it, trying to get a little spin action here, is just that lower section from like the top of the ear down in the previews. It was fluttering all around during his entrance, and his hair was tight. It didn't do that. It was more like a helmet hairstyle. It was pretty much intact. And I felt like watching the entrance a few moments ago, I felt like it wasn't flowing the way it did in the preview video. So maybe that was one of those things that they got on before they released. The profile is spot on, man. That looks so exact. And you always wonder how something like this is going to turn out when the person isn't around to scan anymore. But I'd say they knocked that out of the park. Let's take a look. The physique is there. Yeah. If I was going to burn up another cost slot, then I would just put him in his red outfit, but I'm not going to. I'm perfectly fine with the white outfit. Grab Them Cakes could be too much for the... you know what? I hadn't even considered that. If that would be the case, I'm like, you know what? Y'all need to just tap out. Primetime, that's a good point. A lot of these, people freak out when they see these videos every year, especially when the game's about to launch. And there's always one. I remember a couple of years ago with Charlotte, and it's like, oh my God, she looks horrible, and she did. But then 2 weeks later, the game came out, and no, it looked really good. So you would think by now people would learn, don't jump to conclusions, wait for the release. Because Sid did not look good in the trailer. He looked like he was very whitewashed. But now that I'm here looking at him, and I'm tempted to do a side-by-side comparison. Well, I can't do side-by-side in live, but this looks a lot better than the initial, and I loved what they did with the hair. The hair is so good. See, now in this case, to have that hair, having that looseness to it in the lower section like that, that fits the character. His hair did move around. It wasn't, it was a little spongy. You got the body hair looking good. Physique, solid. I mean, me personally, yeah, I would like to have the black trunks and the leather vest and all that kind of stuff. Again, I'm probably not going to burn up a call slot for it. Doesn't mean I won't. Means I'm probably not going to. Yesterday, I decided to get rid of my TNA roster for the most part. I might have kept, I think, the Hardys, and I think that's it. Because I know I'm just not going to do anything with that anymore. I'm done with the modern day product, so to speak. Happy that John Cena won the Intercontinental title. That was a cool little surprise. The fact that he'd never won it before, I wasn't even thinking about that. So cool, very cool that they did that. Hey, don't you be messing with Bailey, man. That's my girl. I love Bailey. I did like better when she had the long hair and the ponytail thing going on. I just thought that gave her that girl next door thing going on, but she's made the bob work for her. And there's just no denying her in-ring work. And anyone wants to say that, otherwise everyone's entitled to an opinion, but she is 15 times better than Mercedes Sasha Banks will ever hope to be. She's smoother in the ring. Her matches are better. She's just overall a better performer. I don't see there being a competition there for that. But again, everything is subjective, right? Download a superstar. Who did we just do? Orndorff? No, Sid. And then there was one. Damn it, Tito. How do you tap out to Jesse? God. This is another one we should do a side-by-side with. It. That'd have to be a separate video, do side-by-sides. Now, I'll say this. This version of Tito is probably 5 or 6 years older than the version I've been using, which is the one I created. This is really good, too. Yeah. The face looks really good. And the hair is pretty solid. Yeah, this has definitely got a Strike Force vibe going on. He's got the Strike Force gear, which really makes me wish they would have put Martel in. I have yet to see a really good Rick Martel. I mean, if I did find one, I might consider putting a Strike Force together. I don't know. We'll see. Martel's one of those tough to make accurate claws. I mean, he's got a very distinct face, and you have to have a really good scan for that. And I wasn't really looking this year to find one, but the ones that I've happened to pawn that I just took a look at and said, let me see what this looks like, they were good, but not enough to make me want to download one and take up a slot. But yeah, Santana's looking pretty damn good here. So JYD, we're going to change up him a little bit. So let's go ahead and do that. And we'll go to the attire. And we go to our edit. Clothing. Upper body. Go to the neck. Seriously, how hard is that? Now, the thing is, I don't think you can do the collar as well. It's an either or. Well, the chains are the big thing. I mean, that's all there is to it. You got to have the chains. I wonder if... I'll just stick with the chains. I was tempted to try putting like a tattoo logo around his neck, just taking a black strap and kind of painting it on there and making it leather and try to make it look like the collar, but this works. That's all you had to do. I mean, yeah, even if you took the easy way out like this, it would have been better off than what you gave us. And I wouldn't have to burn a cost slot. Okay, since we're going to get 2 for the price of 1. Oh, you know what I think I'm going to do? Nah, we'll leave it. I was going to turn this into the white one and this one into the blue one. But then the red one, which I kind of like the red, that's kind of a trademark look for him. And that wouldn't have the chains then if I did that. So, no, I think we'll stick with this. Say about there. Got that. There we go. Once again, go to the upper body, go to the neck. That's an alternative. Oh, let's see. What if they gave us new poses at all for any of these new characters being in the game? Probably not. I feel like there is kind of like a where he kind of does that upward head turn barking. I feel like there was something in here that would look similar to that. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Kind of like that. Oh, let's go this way, though. My bad. Close. That might be the best one. So let's check a few more, though. Kind of liking this a little bit better. Oh, there we go. That's what I'm looking for. There we go. The other thing they need to change, they're not going to in this game for sure, and I'm not buying next year, so I'm not too worried about that part. But the other thing they need to change is we used to be able to use the entrance attire to make their menu screen pose. And now it's just the in-ring attire, so that kind of sucks. I'd much rather have them wearing the chains and stuff. Not sure why they made that happen. Can't be that big a deal. But something they never did fix, and I was sending them messages about that from day one. Like they give a shit what I got to say. Yeah, the Valentine I'm using was by Honcho. I did do a little tweaking to it myself. I kind of shaped his head differently so that the hair looked a little bit different. I extended his jaws out sideways to give him a little bit more of a square face. But generally speaking, she's very healthy indeed, buddy. Yeah. And I'm telling you right now, if I was ever on like a ship with her and we all went overboard, I'm hanging on to her because she ain't never going to sink with those flotation devices. So I'm sure that's the only reason I'd be hanging on to her. But yeah, I thought about white and blue. But the thing is, then the red is the in-game one, and then there's no chains. And I like the red a lot, so. Yeah, Santana has a very rich history. A lot of people don't know that. You know, those people don't know his WWF history, which is pretty sad. All right, save. I mean, it's not really worth uploading it because y'all can do that yourselves in seconds. It doesn't take hardly any time at all. If anybody really wants it, let me know, and I'll upload it separately later on. Assuming there aren't 25 other people out there that have already got it done. Yeah, so I don't have any more slots right now. So this is the SID that I've been using. And I forget who created this one, to be honest with you. So if you look at the credits that roll, and honestly, like I said, the in-game one is really good. Well, this is pretty good, too. I think he got the face down. I like what it's a little older version of him. It's got a little more meanness to the face, I guess. It's a really good face scan, and those are always hit and miss there, how good they turn out. So for my money, I think this one's pretty solid as well. But that slot will be opening up shortly, and then I got to decide, do I want to put another wrestler in that slot, or do I want to take Sid and give him alternate attires to make him Sid Vicious? Don't know the answer to that right now. But, yeah, there's Sid. Let's jump into the entrances. Oops, wrong button. Tom Watts, I will admit that I have not always walked the walk. I promise you, I will give you personally, and this is an actual contract right now. Tom Watts will receive $100 from me if I buy next year's game. Now, let me give it a preface. I'm not saying I'll never buy it. I'm saying I will not buy it at launch, and I will not buy it while it's at full price. So if they end up, 6 months into the life cycle, dropping it down to like $25, $30, I might, based on how the reviews are and how the game's looking, at that time I might pick it up, possibly. But I will not be buying it at launch. There will be no launch party here on the new Nation Network for it. And if I break that promise, I owe you $100. Yeah, Tony would be a good one, although, again, and I think it might have been Honcho that did the Tony Atlas that I've been using, and it's really spot on. Really, really good. All right, we are on entrances. Well, that would be a really nice surprise, Blaze, because the girlfriend's gone. So I'm not holding out much hope for that. On the bright side, I have a lot more money in the bank than I did when I had the girlfriend. So, yeah, there's a bittersweet. Yeah, Tom, that's what I'm talking about. $40 as opposed to $80. Yes, you can have the $100 too, because unless you're going to buy it for me for like $50 and then make $50 on me, I'm not getting it. And I can't imagine I don't want anyone to buy it for me. Let's put it that way. It's not on my wish list or anything. My goal in not buying it, and hopefully a lot of other people will follow the lead, it's what's happening right now with their live attendance. Live attendance is dropping. No fucking kidding. You are charging ridiculous amounts of money to sit there for a regular 3-hour show or a 2-hour show, whatever it may be. It's bad enough what you do at WrestleMania. $8,000, $6,000 for a ticket. It's insane. This is not Holyfield against Tyson. This is just theater with physicality involved. And I keep saying it. It's like the hottest Broadway show in decades has been Hamilton. Don't know why. I've never seen it. Have no desire to see it. But for whatever reason, it had been a very hard ticket to get. And even when you were scalping tickets for Hamilton, people were paying in the ballpark. And that wasn't that long ago. So it's not like you have to look at the cost of living and make adjustments. And they were paying in the ballpark of over $800, not necessarily to buy it directly through box office. You might be getting it secondhand. But they were selling for in the ballpark of $800 to $1,100. And that's for the hottest Broadway show, which is also theater. It is art, performance art. The thought that what you guys are doing in the WWE is 6 times better, it's not. And your audience is different. The people that go to see Hamilton live in Manhattan, a lot of them. And if you can afford to live in Manhattan, you can afford a $1,200 ticket. The people going to WrestleMania, some of them are lawyers and doctors for sure. A lot of them are forklift drivers. A lot of them are busboys. A lot of them are concierges. They don't have that money. And Vince McMahon always took that into account. Tickets were affordable for everyone. You might not sit ringside, but even back when Vince was there, ringside seats for Raw and SmackDown, this is back when Raw and SmackDown meant something and ratings were somewhere, you were paying about, even if you adjust for inflation, top dollar would have been $450, which is still a lot of money. I paid for WrestleMania 24, and we had kind of middle of the range seats. We were in the upper bowl, but very close to the front section of the upper bowl. And we paid for WrestleMania 24, I want to say $225. Again, it's a once-in-a-lifetime event. I'm not going to these things all the time. And was Flair his last match. So, yeah, we did that. And then, I forget which number it was, the WrestleMania that they were here last at, where they had the whole, their roller coaster during the entrance, and the Hardys made their return. And we had really pretty good seats for that, still, off the floor. But where the Hardys came out, we were like immediately, once they came down the ramp about 10 steps, we were immediately off to their right shoulder. Great seats. Bailey had a great night, and of course I'm a big Bailey fan, so that was cool. And those tickets, I think, were about $300. They weren't terrible. And again, it's WrestleMania. Those same seats, if they were coming back now, would cost about $800 to $900. And that's if you're getting them through Ticketmaster, not counting any extra fees. So the fact that they are starting to, get it stuck up their ass finally, and TKO might be realizing that this is not the UFC. This is not real fighting. People are going to this for literally entertainment like a movie. And you're not going to get $2,000, $3,000, $6,000 to go sit in a movie. The fact is they've been getting it. That's the problem. So if there's any good news to a down economy, it's going to smack them in the dick, and they're going to get what they got coming to them. But right now, attendance is way down. They've got a lot of available seats, even for Cena's. For Cena's retirement Saturday night main event, go look it up. Or you know what? James Romero, go check out his channel. He did a whole thing about it. Shows you the seating chart, what's available. There's a lot available seats. And out of the ones available, a lot of, I'd say half of them, are through third party. So somebody's already bought them, and now they're reselling. And you're going to pay more. And I think these guys bought all those seats up thinking they're going to have no problem selling them. And now they're realizing people don't have that kind of money. So I hope, just like when people bought all the PS5s up and then they were selling them for like $1,000 during COVID, nothing made me happier than when all of a sudden mass shipments of PS5s came out and they ate their lunch. Yeah, they made a lot of money off the ones they sold, but a lot of these guys had plenty left in inventory, and now they had to give them away. They had to reduce their cost by $100, and that ate into all the profits. So I think the majority of those people didn't even break even, or maybe broke even. Some of them made money. Some of them lost money. Kudos to those of you that lost money on that. Yep, mark the video. Trust me, you will not be collecting from me. Yeah, I mean, look, you got somebody paying for it, that all the more power to you. I mean, again, that's how I got this one. But like I said, she ain't around there more to do that, so that ain't happening again. All right, let's go back to Sid Justice. God, that entrance is freaking horrible. I don't even know if I could stick with that music. Let's try. We'll use that for the moment. Yeah, that's a lot better. It even makes the model look better because now he's got some anger in his face. He's got a little bit of mean going on there instead of that nice smiley. Yeah, that's the guy who ended up missing his softball game because he had to go to work. And somebody gonna pay. Thank God this entrance is in the game. me see what generic 7 looks like. No, not. Let's see. Not even sure who this is. Let's figure it out, though. Although he just wore it around the waist, right? He didn't do anything. Yeah, we're just going to stick with... Kind of like that, though. That's not bad, to be honest with you. Shit, now I don't know if I want to switch it up or not. But if I switch it up, I'll have the Sid logo. Oh, wait, no, I won't. Not with Sid Justice. Got to go Millennial. There we go. Let's talk about the Titantrons, too, while we're here. Prime time until they get Flair back under contract. You can forget about that. I don't think it'd be all that big a deal to get Arn and Tully back on. You already got Luger. I'm sure you can get Barry without any trouble. Flair's the part that's going to be your problem. Benny Weir's in the house. Snuck in the back door when I wasn't looking. That's what she said. Prime time, you go ahead and grill Mr. Williams because, yeah, I would lose all objectivity if I spoke to him. So there's Sid's. There's Tito's. I thought Tito had a little something else showing up on his, no? Who we got? Got Jesse. Jesse had some other stuff going on. Surprised they didn't do that for the other guys. Let's see, JYD. JYD's got some. Yeah, even Luger just got the standard treatment. Maxime Dupree did a good interview with Chris Van Vliet, if you haven't checked that out. I've always been a fan of her. She was getting shit on so bad in the beginning. And she even admits, look, it was a little bit of a quick rush to get her out in the main roster. But I've said it then, I'll say it now. Each week you saw improvement, and that's all you can ask from somebody like that. You got Nia Jax, been around for a few years now, and all she does is devolve. Mixed match. Who else am I looking for here? We already saw Tito. Orndorff, nothing. It's another one, boy. They should have had a compilation of his pile drivers. So only a couple of them actually have decent little trons. Save that one. Yeah, that music for him, I'm not so sure. Yeah, I felt like you could have got some royalty-free music that would have just sounded better and fit better, but what do I know? Tito Santana, his entrance is fine. It is the quickest of the bunch of them. It's only like 23 seconds long, but Santana had a quick entrance. I mean, he kind of trotted down to the ring just like they showed there, came through the ropes. They didn't like sell him short. That was his entrance. All right, is there anyone else? JYD, we're not going to do anything with his entrance. I was thinking that there was an entrance that had chains involved in it. If anybody knows of one, I was thinking like that in the past that I might have used for Ivan and Nikita or something like that. And maybe that's from an older game. But if there is one that actually uses chains in the entrance, let me know. I think that's everybody. God, what I wouldn't do to be able to delete like Jalen Brunson and get a cost slot instead. I haven't even looked at this guy's model. I could give two shits about him. Jesse's entrance is perfect the way it is. Orndorff is fine. JYD is fine. I don't think there was any other entrances or anything to do. Now we got to do the victory motion. Oh, you already did the interview. You're going to have to check that out. Yeah, I'll say this right now. I did see some clips. I guess it would have been Raw, right? Yeah, because I heard that Nikki turned heel. Whatever. Don't see why you had to do that, but okay. And Cena won the Intercontinental title. So I actually wanted to see at least how he won. I wasn't going to sit through the whole match. But the promo leading up to it and the whole line of that and the fact that it was in Boston, they did right by him. And kudos to Dom for doing the job. I don't know who I want. I do not want Gunther to be the last man. I mean, if you're going to make Gunther the last guy in the ring with him, do it at Madison Square Garden. You've already ruined Saturday night's main event because it's not his last match. Why would you have him booked for the Garden to perform? I mean, if he's just going to come out there and address the crowd and you know, make him the guest referee or something like that, fine. But from everything I've heard, he's going to have a match at the Garden, like 4 days later. Then it's not his last match. What are you promoting? It reminds me of when Flair lost a loser leaves WWF match to Perfect, but then he's still under contract for the next 7 days. He's got matches across the United States. Well, then it wasn't a loser leave. He didn't leave. He stuck around. He's still having matches. Granted, he's on his back every night, but... And you know they'll record the shit out of that thing, and eventually it'll be released on a video compilation of some sort or another, but... If you're marketing the Saturday Night Main Event show as his last match, then it has to be his last match. Anyway, I was watching these highlights from Monday night, which now a lot of people are saying is the best Monday night show they've had since Netflix took over. Okay. It's been a pretty low bar, but okay. And I saw Nia come out there and do some running and shit, and she was in street clothes. And I gotta say, she looks a lot better in the street clothes. She's still a big girl, but it doesn't look so bad. Those outfits that they put her in, they might as well make them black and white and have her painted up as Shamu. But in the street clothes, okay. Yeah, the grand champion thing was a good move. I don't doubt that Edge will end up coming back. I don't know that he'll be back in time for John Cena in any way, shape, or form. Unless Tony was being really nice and allowed him out of his contract, which I can't imagine that unless there was some sort of reciprocation involved. But what are we doing? Victory? Okay, I need Sid. The Millennium Man. You know what? I might keep that one and just go with the heel with the Millennium. Let's see what else we got here. Give me that. All right, Sid is now much better off than where he was. Oh, I'm going to have to check out that video, Donnell. Tom is freaking gold, man. For somebody as young as him, he just right out the gate, he took it and ran. They gave him the ball, and he ran with it. Judd, I know it's a rumor. It's been a rumor for a while by a lot of people. I just, I can't imagine the world in which it happens. Not in the time frame we're talking about. Do I think he'll go back? Yeah, it might be too late for him to, have a last match of any kind. Maybe it won't be. I don't know. I mean, he's already supposed to be done. And he's got probably another 2 or 3 years out of a career that doctors told him he was done with. Oh, I forgot to change that one up. That's all right. WrestleMania. I thought it was a pretty good match. All things considered, John Cena and AJ Styles, I thought that was a pretty good match. Kind of sucks for AJ that he's getting ready to go on his retirement tour. And Cena will already be retired, so there's no reciprocating. But that one match will just have to suffice for both men. All right, here's Sid with the new music and the Millennium Man entrance. Appearing at the Showcase of the Immortals, WrestleMania. But as I was mentioning earlier, I might have got sidetracked. The thought of Gunther being his last opponent, oh, God, no, please. It's like he just did the Goldberg thing, and that wasn't all that great. And I don't know if anyone else is paying attention, but Cena's not walking right. Like when he won the belt, he was hunched over a little bit. Watch the replay. He has a hard time standing upright right now from all the damage. Last thing he needs to be in the ring with is a guy who's the most physical on the roster. And while I can imagine he would want to put somebody over, look at the chains. What a difference, right? Come on, 2K, get serious. Make me burn a cost slot. And that also kind of takes a little bit away from the fact that they made him a little undersized. But at least having the chains there, man. They also have a different variation of chains. I should have looked at those as well. They're not as good as these in some ways, but there's more of a 3D effect where these are kind of flat. I'm torn between Psycho Sid and Sid Vicious. I like both of them. And realistically, you could have it one and the same. I mean, he could have multiple nicknames. Same way Vader was also referred to as the Mastodon, but he was still Vader and called Vader. Oh, I should have put a poll up for that 5-man match. I don't think anybody was picking Jesse. Yeah, I'm going to have to get rid of my Sid, and that'll allow me to make a version of him that I'm going to be happier with the black trunks and the leather vest on the entrance. You don't want to get into a power struggle, JYD, not with that man. Nice forearms. They've taken the time, I can tell already, to put some nice movesets together. Yeah, Cena hasn't come out and said a whole lot about it, but you can see it. When people film him in public and things like that, he's not walking quite right. And again, for the amount of damage over the years that you do to your back in this business, and he's done it for a long time. Yeah, Ken, Vader's whole thing, I mean, I was watching the Dark Side of the Ring with him the other night, they rerun. And I hadn't seen it in a while, so I was like, oh, let me check it out again. The way that all came about in New Japan, they custom built that whole headset for him. And the first time I ever saw him was when he debuted in WCW. And I remember that headdress, and I was like, damn, that thing is a beast. And then all of a sudden, the friggin' smoke comes out of it, and I was like, whoa. Yeah, this is something a little bit different here. Now, I always wondered, I thought he had a button in his glove or something like that he would press, because I know a lot of times with the characters at the theme parks, they have these little things inside their gloves that'll make the mouth or the eyes do their thing. But it turns out it was a stage guy. The same way you set off the pyro, they would set off the steam. Wonder where that headdress is now, if it's still in possession of the family or is it in like a Hall of Fame? I can only imagine what that would sell for. Watching that dark side of the ring back, I'm like, why is Vader in the dark side of the ring? I mean, he had a pretty solid career. But then you watch what happened to him in the WWF, even the latter days of the WCW, and some of it was his own doing. I mean, you got to know you can't be hurting people. And yeah, there's some people like, Mick Foley that'll get out there and that'll scrap with you and do all that shit. But you just got to know when you're in there with the names like Hogan and a lot of these other guys, Shawn Michaels, they're not going to be physically handled like that. JYD kicking out of the powerbomb. I do like Sid's powerbomb. Yeah, I mean, they could have done a better job. A couple of them they did a good job on. Orndorff, I don't know how you drop the ball on Orndorff, man. To have a collection of him dropping people with that pile driver. And I definitely like his pile driver. I was wondering if they were going to come up with a new variant of it, and they did. I've always said, Orndorff to this day, nobody does a pile driver. Nobody's ever done a pile driver better than him. But that should always be a finishing move. No one kicks out of a pile driver. I challenge you to let me turn you upside down and drop you on your head and get up from it. JYD putting up a good fight. Ooh, flying headbutt. Dog is off the leash now. Has a big man up. He's got the power slam. Delivers the thump. Close call. If it was anybody other than Sid, the match would be over. Brings him back in the hard way. Both men have hit with their heavy artillery. Both men still going. Shades of the King. Oh, and he split him wide open. Headbutt to follow it up. Ooh, nice reversal by Sid. Not too happy about that. Open gash on his head, courtesy of the Junkyard Dog, and now making him pay. Sid has him by the throat, up in the air, down. Boot to the midsection. And a power bomb. That's the traditional one, not the special one. Referee smacking JYD in the head 3 times. All these months later, they haven't fixed that. Sid Justice, Sid Vicious, Psycho Sid, call him what you will. Victorious. Whatever goes up must come down. Overall, guys, I'm going to give this pack a passing grade, not just because I'm a big old school fan, but once the game is out like it is now, and you get a close-up look at them, a lot of the things that didn't look good in the previews look a lot better now. Whether that's just the system it's on versus the system it was on, whether they did some last-minute touch-ups after hearing the feedback from the community. Sid looks a lot better to me. I already thought Santana and Jesse looked absolutely perfect. I think Orndorff looks really, really good. The only one I have any real criticism on is a JYD. I'd still prefer that he were bigger in the midsection, because that was the majority of his career. Certainly his WWF career. And for the love of God, put the damn chains on him. It wasn't that hard. Lord and all that kind of stuff. And I would read about Lord Humongous in the magazines. And having seen the Road Warrior movie and all that, to see him with that hockey mask on and the straps and all that, he just looked like this beast in these black and white photos. Long before I'd ever seen a Sid Vicious or anything. He hadn't been Sid Vicious yet. But even when Sid Vicious started coming into the NWA and I was familiar with him, I didn't know that was who Lord Humongous was at that time. So I love when I get a chance to see some old... Matter of fact, I was watching... I forget what the promotion is, but Izzy Moreno, the superfan for Bayley back in NXT days, is now, of course, you probably know, is a wrestler herself. And her debut match was like a year or so ago. And it was on one of those minor league programs, and it was available for like $3 pay-per-view or something like that. So I got that. And I was rewatching that match yesterday, and one of the other matches on the night featured Camille with the NWA title. And during that match, there was a run-in by a girl whose name I'm drawing a blank on how they announced her. But then I'm looking at her, it's like, oh shit, that's Ren Sinclair. And it's always cool when you see these old matches when people that you now recognize for their work today were doing work years earlier. And I got to tell you, I think she was probably wrestling under her real name. I just can't remember what it was. But I felt like watching her in the ring, because the next month, I guess, or a few weeks later, the same promotion had her against Camille. And it wasn't a terrible match. Now, let's be honest, Camille's not a great wrestler. She's a good wrestler, but she's not great. There's a reason WWE hasn't come calling on her. And I don't really think they're going to be honest. But I thought Ren looked pretty good in that match. Arguably, I mean, I haven't really seen her do a whole lot in NXT in ring. She's always been somebody's arm candy. Kenny, that's why the universe mode is so anything in the universe mode. And that's what I like about it, because I've got several different... I've got all three slots being used. But even then, not all three slots are the same thing. Like what I've got my NWA in also has my modern day roster in. So it's just a matter of which days of the week, which show it is, as to what the roster looks like. And I don't really use the modern day version of anything at all, because the modern day product is just blah. And anytime I do put any modern day stuff out there, nobody watches it. The only stuff that gets views is the old school stuff. So, and I like that better anyway, so why am I trying to force a round peg into a square hole? There were two, what, Lord Humonguses? Wouldn't surprise me. I guess, once you're putting somebody underneath the mask, it's not too hard to do. And we're getting a YouTube warning that it's not receiving enough strength in the signal. It must be near 5 o'clock. What time is it? No, it's only 3 o'clock. Usually that doesn't happen until about 5, 6 o'clock. No, I don't have a square hole. I got a round hole, but I don't want to put anything square in there either. I don't want to put anything round in there. I don't want anything to go in my hole. That's what she said. Well, overall, it's a good pack. I'm happy with it. I would say if I'm rating the entire pack on a 1 to 10, I'd give it an 8, maybe 8.5. Can't say that about the other packs. And it saddens me that there are people out there that are like, oh, I'm not even going to look at these guys. Who are these guys? I don't. Man, y'all ain't wrestling fans. That's all I got to tell you. Because these look good. Movesets are solid. I'm going to check out Tito's in more depth because the one I'm running right now off of mine is, to me, exactly where it needs to be. So we'll have to see if I have to make any tweaks to his. I do want to take mine and probably add the forearm to it and things like that. I put the legends together with all the modern stars and have, dream matches. See, that's what I'm saying. And whatever you want to do with it, you can. The last time I did something like that is going way back in the early days in the old channel. A lot of people that have been around for that long, they remember these days. And I think I've even reposted them on this channel. There's a playlist here for Invasion Zen. That's the old channel. And if you haven't checked it out, you should go check it out. And I'm pretty sure I posted those videos, reposted them here. But basically, there was a stormy night and lightning hit the building and it broke into the time-space continuum. And all of a sudden, you had yesteryear's wrestlers coming into the modern-day roster. Now, modern day then, you're talking about 15 to 20 years ago. But still, that's the last time I did the dream match thing. Yeah, same thing, man. I like the legends. And when I have people making these arenas like the 605 arena that I've been using, it just makes it so immersive because that arena came out absolutely spectacular, moving the Trons all the way up to make it look like a small arena, which I still haven't figured out what the trick is. That must have to be a PC thing. I don't think there's any way of doing that with the PlayStation. But that also gives me a template if I need to make any other small arenas like that. I can just use that and then change the images on the Trons. Wasn't able to come up with one in my mind. I thought, it's like, what can I use that for? What can I duplicate and then create out of that? But I couldn't think of any. Not that I would have a use for anyway. The good old days. All right, boys and goyles. I want to thank everybody for stopping by, keeping me company for this one. I'm going to try and get on later tonight and do a show. I'm thinking it might be a UWF night. And you might see some new characters, maybe the same characters that I've been running, but new versions of them based on these DLCs that we got today. I'm going to try and get all of them worked into the next 7 days of broadcasting anyway. Nice to have time off. I mean, like lengthy time off that I can just sit back, relax, and just do what I want to do and not deal with shit. Legends rules, he says. I agree with you. Bring back the memories. That's what it's all about. That's what we do here. That's what we do here. Keeping tradition alive. Dookie! Good to have you here, man. We're getting ready to say goodbye. So, by all means, go back and check it out. It was a good stream. I think you'll enjoy it. All right, everybody. Until later, I'll see you guys ringside here on the Nation Network.